On Mount Moriah, Abraham obeyed without hesitation. God spared Isaac, provided a ram, and reaffirmed his covenant, a promise sealed through faith and sacrifice. But the mountain was not the end of the journey. The promise would now move forward through death, through marriage, through sons, and through a house slowly dividing. Sarah lived 127 years, and she died at Kiriath Arba, Hebron, in the land of Canaan. She had left her homeland when God called Abraham. She had endured famine, exile, and fear. She had waited decades for a child and lived to hold the promise in her arms. Now Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. This was the woman who had walked every mile with him, the woman who laughed at the impossible and then lived to see it fulfilled. After his mourning, Abraham rose and went to speak with the sons of Heth. The land had been promised to him by God, yet he owned none of it.
I am a foreigner and a visitor among you. Sell me property for a burial place, so I may bury my dead.
They answered him with honor, calling him a mighty prince among them. They offered him any tomb he desired, but Abraham asked for a specific place. The Cave of Machpelah, owned by Ephron the Hittite. Ephron offered the field and the cave as a gift. Abraham refused. He insisted on paying the full price, 400 shekels of silver, weighed out according to the standard of the merchants. So the field, the cave, and the trees within its boundaries became Abraham's legal possession. And there, Abraham buried Sarah, his wife. The first piece of the promised land was claimed, not through conquest, but through covenant and through death. Time passed. Abraham grew very old, and the Lord had blessed him in all things. Yet Isaac, the son of promise, had no wife, and Abraham knew the covenant could not move forward without the next generation secured. So Abraham called his senior servant, the one who had managed his household for many years.
Swear to me by the Lord, you must not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites. Go instead to my country, to my relatives, and take a wife for my son Isaac.
The servant asked what would happen if the woman refused.
The Lord will send his angel before you, and he will see to it that you find a wife there for my son.
The servant set out for distant Aram Naharaim, carrying silver, gold, garments, and the weight of Abraham's oath. This was where Abraham's brother Nahor had settled, the family Abraham had left behind decades earlier, before the promise was fulfilled. At evening, the servant stopped at a well outside the city, the time when women came out to draw water. He prayed, not for chance, but for clarity.
Let the woman to whom I say, "Please give me a little water from your jar," and who answers, "Drink, and I will water your camels also." Let her be the one you have chosen for your servant Isaac.
Before he had finished praying, he saw a young woman named Rebekah coming out with her jar on her shoulder. She was the daughter of Bethuel, who was the son of Nahor, Abraham's brother. The young woman was very beautiful, whom no man had known. Then the servant ran to meet her.
Please let me drink a little water from your jar.
Drink, my lord.
When she had finished giving him a drink, she said,
I will draw water for your camels also, until they have finished drinking.
She quickly emptied her jar into the trough, ran back to the well, and drew water for all his camels. The servant stood in silence, watching closely, waiting to know whether the Lord had made his journey successful. When the camels had finished drinking, the servant took out a gold ring for her nose and 2 large gold bracelets. He placed the ring on her nose and the bracelets on her arms. Then he asked,
Whose daughter are you? Please tell me, is there room in your father's house for us to spend the night?
I am the daughter of Bethuel. My grandparents are Nahor and Milcah.
She added,
We have plenty of straw and feed for the camels and room to stay.
Then the servant bowed his head and worshipped the Lord.
Blessed be the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his steadfast love and his faithfulness toward my master. For he has led me straight to my master's relatives.
Rebekah ran back to her mother's household and told them everything that had happened. She spoke of the stranger at the well, of the prayer, of the sign, and of the God who had guided him. Rebekah had a brother named Laban, and when Laban saw the ring and the bracelets on his sister's hands and heard her account, he went out to the man at the spring.
Come, you who are blessed by the Lord. Why are you standing out here? I have prepared the house and the place for the camels.
The man entered the house. Straw and food were brought for the camels, and water for his feet and the feet of those with him. But when food was placed before him, the servant refused to eat.
I will not eat until I have told you what I have to say.
And they said, Speak. The servant told the entire story: Abraham's call, Isaac's birth, the oath he had sworn, the prayer at the well, and the sign fulfilled. Rebekah's family recognized the Lord's hand.
This comes from the Lord.
They agreed that Rebekah was chosen, and the servant brought out gifts of silver and gold and costly garments, giving them to Rebekah and to her brother and her mother. In the morning, the servant asked to be sent on his way, but her family urged delay, asking that she remain with them a few more days. The servant refused to be delayed, so they called Rebekah and asked her directly.
I will go.
They said goodbye to Rebekah, along with her nurse, the servant, and his men, and they blessed her, saying,
Our sister, may you become the mother of thousands, of 10,000s, and may your offspring possess the gate of those who hate them.
Then Rebekah rose, mounted the camels, and followed the servant. Isaac was walking in the field at evening, meditating, when he looked up and saw the camels approaching. Rebekah lifted her eyes and saw Isaac, and she quickly dismounted from her camel.
Who is that man walking in the field to meet us?
He is my master.
Then the servant told Isaac everything he had done. Isaac brought Rebekah into his mother Sarah's tent. She became his wife, and he loved her deeply, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. Abraham took another wife, whose name was Keturah. She bore him 6 sons. Before his death, Abraham gave them gifts and sent them away eastward. Everything he owned, he left to Isaac. Abraham lived 175 years. He breathed his last and died at a good old age. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him beside Sarah in the Cave of Machpelah. And after Abraham's death, God blessed Isaac. Isaac settled near Beer Lahai Roi. Ishmael, whom Hagar bore to Abraham, had 12 sons, who became the founders of 12 tribes. Ishmael lived 137 years. He breathed his last and was gathered to his people, his life completed, his line established. Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, but Rebekah was barren. Isaac pleaded with the Lord on behalf of his wife, and the Lord listened to his prayer. But the children struggled together within her.
Why is this happening to me?
So she went to inquire of the Lord.
2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you shall be divided. 1 people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger.
When her days to give birth were completed, indeed, there were twins in her womb. The first came out red, his whole body like a hairy cloak, and they named him Esau. Afterward, his brother came out, his hand grasping Esau's heel. So his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them. Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the field. Jacob remained among the tents, close to the household. Isaac loved Esau. Rebekah loved Jacob. One day, Jacob was cooking stew. Esau came in from the field, famished.
Give me some of that red stew. I am exhausted.
Jacob saw his moment.
Sell me your birthright.
I am about to die. What good is a birthright to me?
Swear to me first.
So Esau swore an oath, selling his birthright to Jacob. He ate. He drank. He rose and went his way. So Esau despised his birthright. But the story was far from over. What was exchanged in a moment of hunger would soon drive one brother into exile and leave the other burning with loss. The covenant would follow Jacob into the wilderness, where he would flee in fear, encounter God in the night, and be broken before he was blessed. And one day, the path would turn back toward the brother he had wronged.